Hi, I'm Shelley Maurer,
And I'm Cher Emmerich. Welcome to Life Lessons from Pickleball,
where we engage with pickleball players from around the world about life on and off the court.
Thanks for joining us. Welcome, everyone, to Life Lessons from Pickleball. So glad you're joining us today. And for those of you who are watching the show on YouTube, you will notice that Shelley is wearing a serious neck brace because she had a serious fall down a mountain while she was hiking in Switzerland. But fortunately, Shelley, you're doing well.
Yeah, I'm healing really well, and this is going to come off soon.
Awesome. And here's another thrill that we have. We have as our guest Joe Gannascoli, whom you know and love from his portrayal as Vito Spatafore on HBO's The Sopranos.
Hey, beyond the screen, Joe, you're a trained chef and the author of the culinary crime novel, A Meal to Die For.
And these days, you're actually bringing people together through food, stories, and believe it or not, pickleball as a part of a broader wellness journey.
Joe, we can't thank you enough for being on our show, and we're so excited to have you here today. So, to kick us off, tell us about your path from working in New York kitchens to The Sopranos.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Pleasure to meet you. Sorry about your little misfortune.
Thank you.
Fell down a mountain. It's quite a tumble.
Yeah, it was a tumble.
Okay, so let me see if I can condense this in 9 seconds. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Self-taught chef. Was in college briefly, St. John's, and figured out quickly that wasn't for me. And somehow I wound up in a French kitchen in Manhattan where I started doing prep and worked my way up to the kitchen. And like most restaurant people, you bounce around because I was young and going out at night, coming, being 20 years old in Manhattan, the shift doesn't just end. So bounced around from kitchen to kitchen, learning, and I didn't mind that because I was trying to learn as much as possible and see as much and so on. I had a chance to go to culinary school, but I wanted to work and someone said you can go to school or you can just absorb everything where you work and do it firsthand. So that's what I decided to do, and worked in a couple of restaurants, and then had an opportunity to go to New Orleans, where I lived for 3.5 years, and I come home. Oh, so I was about 21 to about 24, and then I came home and got my first chef's job. Did that again, a couple of years, bounced around again. Like baseball managers, you're hired to be fired. I was working in a restaurant in Manhattan, and a waiter said, I have my own theater company. And you'd be right for this role that we're casting. Would you want to come and audition? And I said, yes, sure. Sounds like fun. I did that and got it. And after the run, and was way off Broadway, I said, that was kind of fun. What should I do? And he said, well, maybe you want to go study with my teacher. And so I did that. Again, I'm not a big fan of, doing things by the book. But I enjoyed watching this teacher teach because he was really had a very unique way of teaching. And I enjoyed watching him teach, but really not what he was teaching. So I did that for about a year. I got out of the restaurant business. I was selling ice cream from a cart, living the bohemian life. I was tired of being broke. And I stopped the class, got back in the restaurant business, and opened the restaurant with a couple of guys, which was very successful. Got into a bad, degenerate gambling habit. And 1990, lost 60,000 one Sunday, 3 games.
Wow. Oh
Yeah.
my.
Yeah. So when I go, I go. So I was,
You go big.
yes, I did. And it was the last game of the year, and we call that sending it in. And I sent it in, and by 10:30 Sunday night, my friends were looking at me, and I was in the restaurant watching the games in the restaurant. They said, "You look sick. Are you okay?" And I was like pretty much pale, and I'm thinking, I just lost $60,000.
Jeez.
And I said, I got to pay this, get out of the restaurant, and get out of New York. Because, it was just a. So I paid off my debt. I paid my debt. I was either going to go to Italy, or I spoke to my friend that first said, do you want to come audition? And he was, serious actor, living in LA. And he said it was house sitting in some producer's house. And he said, you could come here and, we'll figure it out. And that's what I did. And that's how I got my start in Los Angeles. There's obviously more to the story, but I just gave a little brief background about my cooking, sort of.
Awesome. And how long were you in LA before you got the Sopranos gig?
I was there for about 4 years, 91 to about 94. It was during the OJ trial, but I was there for about 3.5, 4 years. I worked in restaurants while I was there. My first movie I did was with a lot of big names. The movie didn't do well, but it was my first role. And Benicio del Toro was in it. And he found me working in this restaurant. He said, I'm about to shoot this film I wrote, and I want you to be the lead. And so I did that, stayed friends with Benicio, moved back to New York, got me in 2 films back in New York. And the casting directors were Georgianne Walken and Sheila Jaffe from Sopranos. And they wanted to meet me because they said, you're in our movies. We don't even know who you are, because I went right to the director. And they asked me if I had an agent. I said no. They said, well, keep in touch with us every few months, and if you're right for something, we'll bring you in. And I did that. And they said, we're doing this show. Now, I have to stop there. I'm hoping most of your fans know, Soprano fans know, I played 2 different roles. The first, so they said, we have this scene in a bakery. You had some lines, and my name was Gino. 1-day shoot, couple of hours, and I thought that was it. And for some reason, they brought me back as Vito.
We know why. Not for some reason.
Well, I don't know if they saw talent in the 3 lines that I had.
I think they did.
Yeah, probably. So they brought me back as Vito, and that was the season 2. And then season 3, the show had really blown up, and we were part of something spectacular. And I was sort of a background character, lines here and there. I got to kill Jackie Jr. at the season 3. And it was during season 4, let me explain this, that I wanted to learn French cooking because Italian I knew, growing up Italian. And I wanted to broaden my repertoire. And again, playing an Italian, a gangster or mobster growing up in Brooklyn is sort of easy. It's not much of a challenge. And I wanted to prove I could act to myself and my castmates. So the name of the book was called Murder Machine, true story about a guy from Brooklyn. Oh, he had a bar in Brooklyn. He lived in Long Island, where I am now. And it was called the Gemini Lounge, and they were responsible for about 75 murders.
Yikes.
Well, one of the guys in his crew was gay, and the light bulb went off in my head. And so I brought it to the attention of one of the writers, and I said, listen, I'm reading this book. It's a true story, and I think it'd be something interesting, something you don't see, and I'd be willing to do it.
Awesome.
And so that's how the whole Vito storyline came to be.
Awesome. I did not know that you had been the brain behind that.
and David Chase had said it's the only suggestion he's taken from an actor that he used. And that changed my life. But I also worked in a gay restaurant. In New Orleans, the waiters were mostly gay. And in Manhattan, the waiter was mostly gay. So I had never had a problem with it, playing a gay character. To me, it was acting. And, a lot of guys couldn't. Me, I'm a let live kind of guy, live and let live kind of guy. So I suggested it and didn't hear anything for about a year and a half until they decided to do it. And it's not what I had in mind, the way they portrayed it, but I'm glad that they did it that way. It made Vito a lot more sympathetic character. And that's pretty much the edited version of my story.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. So how did playing Vito really impact you personally?
So an interesting story. Beginning season 5, and they came in and said that we're about to shoot a scene. I forget where it was, but they said, "Hey, we got a little line change here. Paulie Walnuts is going to say, Joe, where the fuck is my Tupperware?" And you're going to say, "Take it easy. My wife's cleaning it. You'll get it." And I said to myself, "Oh, I got a wife now. It could be nothing, could be something," but I didn't say anything. And during the course of season 5, one of the actors got drunk and left the script in a cab. And they freaked out because everything was top secret. There was paparazzi all around.
Right.
And they saw the actors on the street, new actors, and trying to figure stuff out and taking pictures, always looking for, what was going on. So they stopped giving us the scripts. So the crew got the scripts first because they had to prepare for the next episode. And we all had our little mole. And my guy was like a props guy. I'd say, "What's going on next episode? Am I getting killed?" That was always the first question.
Yeah.
And then you'd say, "Am I in it?" And he'd say, "Yes, you're in it, you're not in it," so on and so forth. So one time I asked him, I said, "What's going on?" He goes, "You're good, you're fine." And by then I was like, "All right, I'll read it at the read-through," which is where all the actors get together in a room, you read the script, and then the producers and the writers and the director want to make changes to hear the actor say the words. And he says, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, you're going to be giving a guy oral." And I went, What? Excuse
Hello?
me? And I went, a couple of things started going through my mind. It's like, holy shit, they're doing it. And second thing is like, it's not what I really had in mind. And my third thing was, my friends are going to break balls forever. And all that was going through my mind. And I'm like, whoa, man, what did I do here? And I remember getting to the studio and everybody's downstairs waiting to go upstairs to read the script. And Jimmy came over to me, Gandolfini, rest in peace, and said, "Listen, if you don't feel comfortable doing this, you don't have to do it." And I said, "Jim, I kind of suggested it, and, it's not what I had in mind, but I don't want to just do it and we forget about it." So we did it, and they said, "Well, that's all we're going to see this year, the scene with the security guard. But next year, be ready. It's going to be a big year for you." And I did, and that changed my life. And so here we are.
Yeah, that was your season 6, right?
6,
Season
yeah,
6.
Season 6, the
6.
beginning of season 6, yeah.
So fortunately, these days, that's not so unusual anymore to have gay characters and all. And
I was the
so you guys kind of
groundbreaker.
opened the door in many ways, and
Wow.
so good on you. And so one of your questions was always, am I in it? Am I in the scene? And the other one is, am I getting killed? So when you found out, yeah, you're getting killed, what was that like?
I knew I was teetering. I mean, that's rough to be in. The guy from the book wasn't killed for being gay because he was valuable to them. He chopped up bodies in his bathtub and drained the blood, and that's how they got rid of bodies.
God. Joe, you say it so casually.
I know. It's just like, oh.
Then normal stuff, from being in Brooklyn and New York. But they killed this guy in Jersey for being gay. Now, usually, it's always about money.
Always about money. Yeah.
It's always about money. Either someone wants his position and they use that for an excuse and to take over his business, no matter what it is, or nobody will do business with them because they got a gay guy, which was Tony's dilemma.
Mm.
You know, he wanted to let me live, you know, like, doesn't matter. But then nobody wanted to do business with him,
Mm.
you know. So I knew you know, season 6, there were, I think, 11 episodes. I was in 9 of them. And if I wasn't in, they were talking to me.
Wow.
So by the time I found out, you know, I was pretty much into season 6. And, you know, I had a really good run. I went from small scene in the bakery to 39 episodes. The whole season pretty much was dedicated to my character. And so I went into David and tried to talk to him and gave him all the reasons. I was trying to make it to the end. I knew that there were going to be 2 parts of season 6, and I tried to make it to the next season.
Oh.
So I gave him all these reasons why I thought my character should live, this and that. And he let me talk, which seemed like I was talking, I don't know, for a long time, but probably was 2 minutes. He just stared at me stoically. And then when I was done, he just said, "You're going."
Oh, wow.
So
It's
that
like a
was that.
mob boss.
So I thank them for, you know, the opportunity and, you know, so on. And, you know, it's a prolific character and the greatest show ever. So I've been blessed,
Yes.
but I also felt that, you know, I made my own breaks,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe those breaks were part of being blessed. I don't know. The whole part of doing that, again, was like cooking. Playing a mobster is easy where I grew up. Playing a gay guy was a challenge. Again, wanted to show that I could act, the cast that I could act, you know, to people out there that I could act. And, you know, that's what happened.
Have you done more acting since then?
I did some stuff then, not as much as I had hoped, but, you know, my agent submits me. We know Joe, and, you know, he did a great job, and I get auditions. But again, as long as I could make money, you know, support my family, it got me to write a cookbook novel. I mean, if things happens. Right now, we're in discussions to turn my book into a show, which
Ah.
is great. The book is a cookbook novel. It's loosely based on my life as a chef
Mm-hmm.
that wanted to be a serious chef, but had a gambling problem. Kind of write about what you know.
Yeah.
And it's called Meals to Die For, and it's about mobsters, what they like to eat, where they ate, and if they have a particular dish, I'll cook that dish, but maybe with a little different. I always try to see if I see something on TV or read it, or see it on a menu, or go to a restaurant. I try to change it around and sort of make it unique in my own. So that's what I'll do with a dish. But we're going to do something else with a little twist to make it fun, because I've seen all the mob shows; those are boring. I've seen all cooking shows; those are boring. But what I want to do with it, and we shot a great demo reel, or sizzle reel, what they call, so we could get it to studios, which we're
Yeah.
doing right now after the summer is finally over.
Nice.
It makes it fun and interesting, you know, different.
Brilliant. I'm happy to hear that that's in the works for you. And you bring like 16 people together for dinner. People hire you. They come together and have a soprano style dinner, and you share your stories. Is that what you're
Well,
doing now as well?
well, it's a minimum of 16.
Minimum of 16.
Minimum of 16. I do up to
Oh.
50.
Oh,
my
wow.
gosh.
Yeah. And I come to their home. First, I say, "Hey, I heard about you cooking." It's all word of mouth. And I give them my menus. It's all done by email. And once they say, "Hey, this is great. They have this date available," which, you know, not always available. But I do the shopping, and they pay for the food. They pay for my assistant. And if it's over 20, 2 assistants. I get there about 1. Guests get there about 4:30. I make about 20 different appetizers.
Wow.
A pasta course, and then could be 1 or 2 entrees, depending on the menu. And yeah, I've been there about 10, 11 hours. The one I just did this past Saturday was in Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania. It's about 125 miles from my house. But they were such rabid fans. It was a lot of fun.
I
And I've
bet.
had them get, like, a lot of parties where all the guests, they all dress as one of, you know, some of the characters,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
like Melfi,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and a lot of Adrianas. a lot of Carmelas, a couple Uncle Juniors, Paulie
Wow.
Walnuts, Chrissy, a couple of comers, Chrissy and Adriana. And I'll tell my story. I'll do
Yeah.
Q&A with everyone, take pictures with everyone. And I've done over 100 of them now. They love the food. The food is serious. And so when people come over, they try to talk to me. I'm in the kitchen. And I go, because you throw me off, save your questions. We're going to have plenty of time for that. I make sure that the food comes out first, and then I don't want to rush them. And then in between pasta and entree, I'll do my story, do a Q&A. So they've been wildly successful. I've done them in Florida, where they flew me and my assistants in. But I usually bring all my utensils, pots, pans, so on.
Wow.
My biggest thing is, what kind of kitchen am I walking into? That's the thing.
That's so
And it
cool.
works.
What a
Nice.
hoot. What a fun thing you're doing.
Yeah.
You're going to have to
Yeah.
do a lot of them now because you're going to be too busy once your project gets picked up.
Yeah.
I think 100%. I know
Yeah.
what. My
Yeah.
pickleball may suffer, but
That was my next question. How did you get introduced to pickleball?
in Brooklyn, I played hockey and baseball, and then I got into paddleball, and then I got into racquetball, which I still play on weekends. And I sort of poo-pooed pickleball because someone had, a girl had mentioned it to me. She says, "Oh, you play pickleball?" I go, "I'm not ready to retire yet to Florida. I'm good." And I was in the gym and I was walking, and these ladies said, "Oh, we only have 3 people. I don't think we'll be able to play." And I said, "You need a 4th? I'll play." And I figured,
Aw.
all right, I'll just smack the ball around, see what it's like. They were older. They weren't very good. The court was terrible, the net. But I started doing things with the ball. I was like, and I was putting a spin on it immediately. I felt bad because they couldn't do it. But I was like, this is kind of interesting. You need, obviously skill. And when I start something, when I do something, I get like obsessed. And so I immediately called up my friend who owns Franklin Sports.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, just send me the top of your line paddle. He did, and a bag. And quickly I saw that, you had to go to a different paddle. But it was
Yeah.
good to start. I started, again, want to be self-taught, watching videos, reading, playing. I was playing twice a day. In the beginning, people wait for a game and you want to be able to hold up with them. If you lose 10, 11-1, 11-2, and people have to wait, put their paddle down, it could be a little frustrating for them. And I sensed that, and I was like, I got to get better quick. So it took me a while to hold my own. And now I'm just feel like pretty confident. The 4.0s I have probably a problem with, but 3.5, 3 to 3.5, I could pretty much handle myself.
Nice.
And I've lost 80 pounds doing it,
So
So
but you also
what?
lost a lot of weight during the show, right? And then you also lost more with pickleball?
Yeah, I lost a lot. So I don't know if you remember how I walked. So I was very athletic and always played, When I started being a chef, I didn't have much time for the gym because I was, 9 a.m. to 11, 12 at night. And I just let myself go. And then I had developed bad hips. I don't know, from hockey, hereditary. You saw the way I walked on the show. As soon as they killed me, I had double hip replacement that day, same day, double hip.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And once they were healed, I took up golf, which I can now do because you got to twist and walk. And I walk the course. And I try not to eat after 2:00. So that's what I do. I have about 40 pounds that I want to knock off. If we ever get a start date, Fox Nation has the show right now, and they really like it. And I'm waiting for an answer, and they're trying to make it work.
Awesome.
But we also go into all the other networks too. So
Yeah.
I want to knock off the last 40 before I ever start filming.
Brilliant. Well, pickleball is a good way to do it, isn't it?
Yeah, pickleball is the, so I do it after golf. I tee off at 7, then get in the car, go to pickleball, 8:45. I get there about 9 and play at about 10:30. I don't know, by 11:30, I'm like, a little shot, maybe a little nap, maybe a little pool time, get a little sun. But I love the pickleball because it is, it's a power game, finesse game, and it's strategic. When you have to think about it, and same thing with golf. When you're thinking about your swing and everything that you're doing, there's about 10 different things to think about. But when you don't have to think about it and just do it the same way all the time, and it's a beautiful shot and hit it the way you're supposed to.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet with pickleball. Like, I still haven't learned my lesson about ball below the net, hitting it hard. It's going to hit the net instead of just
Yeah.
dropping it. So I'm learning. But I played with a banger paddle, and I was just in PickleCon in Kansas City, which was great.
Fun.
And this guy had on his handle a trigger, that little rubber thing.
Yeah.
It's called a trigger. And I got it, and I like it a lot. So it's added to my game.
What
I don't know
know what
this.
it
Do you know
is.
this,
What
Shelley?
is it? No.
I wish I had my paddle. It's in the car. It's a little piece. It's got a band. It's got a little round rubber thing. You slide up the handle, and then it's got a little rubber thing sticking out. So it's kind of like holding a trigger, or your finger on a trigger.
And how does that help?
It just gives you a little more control, because I kind of like turn my wrist over, I snap,
Oh.
I like to, get that top spin.
So it helps with the grip.
Yeah, it helps with the grip.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah.
I've never heard
And
of that.
I also, even in racquetball, I put my pinky underneath the butt of the paddle.
At the very bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wrap it underneath. Yeah, I don't hold like 4 fingers on the paddle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why I do that. I would probably do it in baseball too with a bat. Not sure I would do it. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got that from, PickleCon.
Very.
It was a good show. I learned, I met a lot of vendors, and, looked at a lot of different bags. I'm a big bag guy, and every time I get a new bag, I got to remember like where everything is again. But so that's what I like. There's not a lot of things you could do. Like in golf, there's a million things. They have a million gadgets, bags, clubs, so on. In pickleball, it's ball, paddle, bag, shoes, and that's it.
That's it. So you have had an amazing life, my friend, and really appreciate you sharing your story. Very moving, especially everybody feels like we know you because I've been watching you, and especially your characters, and you really are an amazing actor. I have to say that. And so I'm really hoping that your project comes through. So in your life, in acting and Sopranos or any of your other acting, or as a chef or as an author or on the pickleball court, have you gleaned some life lessons that you can share with us?
I guess in just everyday life. I mean, it could be in the restaurant business, pickleball, sports. Just be a good person. And, good things happen to good people is what I try to live by. And I have a 16-year-old daughter. But while she was growing up, I taught her the keys to life. And I made her repeat it. She hates doing it, but back then she didn't mind. But now she I say, what are the keys to life? And it was this: always smile, always be courteous, and don't be late.
I love it.
Those are great keys.
Yeah. So I tried to get. She just got her first job. I said, Viv, you got to get 10 minutes there before your shift start, so you don't walk in. So 10 minutes ago. So always smile, always be courteous, don't be late.
That is cute.
Great keys.
That one those are keepers.
I will say that, when I'm playing women, lots of times I'll take it easy, and when I'm playing, I won't give them the hard serve to a women because, and when I take it easy on them, I wind up losing the game to them. Because I underestimate them, and they're really good. I play with a lot of good women players.
I bet, yeah.
Yeah, and I keep saying, why do Why do you let up? They hate losing. And that, and, trying to not to curse is one of my two things I'm working on.
The biggest challenge on the court is to not curse.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so cool.
Now, let me ask you. So are you like lifelong friends?
No, we actually met on the pickleball court 2.5 years ago, right,
Yeah,
Shelley?
our
Two
very
and a half
first
years
lesson.
ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very
And
first pickleball lesson. Yeah. And we just saw how it was changing our lives, and we knew it was changing so many people's lives all around the world. And we just got this, hey, what if we got to talk to people like Joe about how their lives have been influenced and what are their life stories? And yeah, so we've talked with people from many countries all around the
yeah.
world and amazing stories. Everybody has an amazing life story. And then pickleball has been a part of it.
Well, when I look back at it, I mean, I have had a pretty interesting life, living, working in restaurants, you meet a lot of people, working and living in New Orleans, Los Angeles, being on this show. There's so many fans, so many people come up to me. I always ask them what they do, because I'm involved in a lot of things. As a matter of fact, I'm always thinking, I have an NFL licensed product. I'm working on an invention for pickleball. And
Oh,
I'm waiting for the prototype to come from China.
Sweet.
And then eventually I'll make it here in the US. But I think it might be good because I've been showing the guys and they think it's a great idea. So,
whoa. Now you got my
yeah,
curiosity.
I think
Yeah, you got to keep us in the loop, Joe.
I certainly will. Well, do you follow me on Instagram or Facebook?
Yeah, we
Instagram.
have Facebook.
Yes. And
Yeah.
Instagram. Yep.
Well,
Yep.
Instagram,
follow
Facebook.
me.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
In fact, I wanted to ask you, how do people find you online? So
if they
what's
just
your
put in
what's your
Vito
handle?
Sopranos, Instagram or Facebook, it'll come up. Because my name is not the easiest to spell, my last name. But yeah, so that's the best way. Or you could just see the spelling in Vito Sopranos, Facebook, Instagram. You'll see pictures of my last party that the guy posted, which was very nice.
Sweet.
And all the appetizers. Actually, he had pretty much everything. Um, yeah, so I
Nice.
haven't posted anything about the show yet because I don't want to
We
put
got
it
the
out there.
scoop. Shelley, we got the scoop
We
about the
do.
show.
Yeah.
We heard it
Shelley,
first.
I'm trying to think of an actress that you so remind me of. And I did the movie with her, and it wasn't on my phone. It's called Never Talk to Strangers. I shot up in Toronto,
Okay.
and it was with Antonio Banderas, is his name, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she
Uh-huh.
was the female lead. I can't remember her name, but I look at you and I'm saying, wow, that's her.
I'm gonna
So,
look it up. Look it
Oh, we'll have to
up.
yeah, we're gonna have to look that up. You also,
Yeah.
Shelley, remind me of the actress on the TV show Mom, Anna Ferris or something like that. You remind me so
Oh,
Anna
much.
Faris.
Joe, this has been so amazing. We are really thrilled that you took the time. Can't wait for your new project. We will be following you with your dinners and everything else, and you'll probably write another book. But anyway, thank you so much for being on the show.
It was
thank
my
you.
pleasure. Thank you both.
Really fun. And thank you all. I mean, what a treat. Vito in person. Thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to a new conversation next week. Bye bye.
If you love our podcast, we'd be so grateful if you'd take a few seconds to follow or subscribe to Life Lessons from Pickleball. This ensures you'll never miss an episode and helps us continue these wonderful conversations.
On Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen, go to the show page and tap the follow button in the top right corner. And on YouTube, click the subscribe button under any of the episodes.
Thanks so much. Hope to see you on the court.